Joining us now is a man who is not at all chopped liver, but who is also not with the McCain campaign, Steve Benen, who writes for the Washington Monthly. Steve, thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here, Rachel. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Senator McCain has been struggling to find a coherent message in response to this overall economic crisis. It made for a very bad week for him on the campaign trail last week. Over the weekend and over the course of the day today on the campaign trail, did it seem to you like he was finding his footing, he was finding his voice?
No, not yet. I think he's still trying. To use the Halloween metaphor that you were using earlier, I get the sense that the mask has come off and we've seen a candidate who really doesn't have much of an economic message at all. You know, looking back to Monday, we saw him talk. First message right out of the bat was that the fundamentals of the economy are strong. That was a disaster. The next day we heard a little bit about a commission, which I also think was a disaster because it made it seem as if John McCain didn't quite know what was going on. He was hoping to have a committee tell him. From there, we heard him. He was against the AIG bailout. Then he was for it. He's just been flailing around all over the place with an economic message, and it's become something of a disaster for him. And we're starting to see some of that reflected in the polls.
On the other side of it, Senator Obama has certainly had an uptick in the polls over the course of this crisis. But when you hear him on the stump talking about this, is he offering the kind of specific remedies that people can understand and relate to, or is he scoring most of his political points right now off of attacking John McCain?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think Robert Reich was right that neither candidate has necessarily presented a lot of details in terms of what they want to do. I think Chris Dodd's proposal today offers something of a path going forward. I think Barney Frank's proposal, he'll be working with Chris Dodd, also offers a bit of a way out. But Barack Obama has a very compelling message in as much as he gets to say, I'm not John McCain. I have a policy going forward. I have an economic message that I think resonates with people. And given that, I think he's going to probably trying to ride this wave out a little bit further.
I wonder if this is, in a certain way, sort of a temperament test for these candidates, in that we voters and potential voters are seeing how these two men respond to a crisis, how they make politics out of bad news. Is this sort of the 3 a.m. phone call we anticipated so much during the primaries?
Absolutely. You know, I heard George Will, who's not exactly a reflexive liberal, talk yesterday about how this is something of a presidential test. And there's one candidate who's come across as being steady, unflappable, calm, the kind of person you would want in a crisis. And it's not John McCain, it's Barack Obama. I think to a certain extent we saw that with John McCain's constant changing of the messages. It didn't necessarily convey a sense of confidence, or for that matter, a sense of competence. And this week I think we're hearing more of the same. Hopefully, for John McCain's sake, he gets some kind of message and gets back on track, because right now he does not have a firm footing. What's more, he goes into this with something of a disadvantage. John McCain has always struggled with an economic message. He said, he's conceded, acknowledged publicly many times that economics is not something he understands particularly well. Polls have shown consistently that Democrats are preferred against Republicans on economic messages. And so given that dynamic, he has a high hurdle to clear, and he hasn't quite gotten up to it yet.
Steve Benen from the Washington Monthly, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Rachel.